Hey everybody, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jesse.
And you're watching Tesla Time News.
Episode 239.
On Now You Know.
We're brought to you, as always, by our amazing Patreon patrons. They help support this show, and in return, they get some pretty great perks.
One of those perks is at the $8 level. We have a monthly live stream with us. Our next live stream is happening this Saturday, so be sure to join us for that. What is that?
Well, this is gears that I made on the Glowforge.
Why are you making gears?
Well, you know that wind turbine that we're working on?
Yeah.
Well, I thought, maybe some gearing would solve the problem, but I wasn't sure how many teeth it would need, so I took a course on Brilliant called Scientific Thinking and brushed up on my gear skills.
That's cool, but we were only working on that yesterday, so how did you pick it up so fast?
Brilliant's courses are laid out in an easy and concise format with fun, bite-sized lessons. It's how my brain likes to learn, and so before I knew it, I knew it.
Nice. And Brilliant has something for everybody. Whether you want to start at the basics of math, science, and computer science, or dive into cutting-edge topics like cryptocurrency or quantum computing.
And all of Brilliant's courses have storytelling, code writing, interactive challenges, and problems to solve. I was able to actually drag gears around on screen to see how they behaved.
So much better than a textbook.
To support our channel and learn more about Brilliant, go to brilliant.org/nowyouknow and sign up for free.
Also, the first 200 people that go to that link will get 20% off the annual premium subscription. And we're sponsored by BigBattery.com with the best battery prices in the USA, guaranteed. If you've got something you need to power, from homes to cars, RVs to boats, and much more, BigBattery.com has you covered, offering the newest battery tech. Use the code NOWYOUKNOW to save 5% off your purchases today at BigBattery.com. All right, so Tesla released the 2021 Q1 delivery numbers on Friday. Drum roll, please. Thank you. And it was another record-breaking delivery quarter for Tesla.
Over 180,000 vehicles produced and over 184,000 vehicles delivered.
Yeah, that breaks the Q4 2020 record of 180,666.
And this was all with no refreshed S or X sales in Q1, and with only 2,020 S and X deliveries overall.
Yeah. So take a look here at the quarterly delivery numbers displayed as a chart from our friends at hypercharts.co. Now, obviously, we don't have an exact breakdown between Model 3 and Y sales yet, but even with these estimates, you can see how Model Y sales are contributing to overall sales. Model 3 deliveries were up 10% quarter over quarter, and Model Y sales were up 14% quarter over quarter.
Tesla said, "We are encouraged by the strong reception of the Model Y in China and are quickly progressing to full production capacity. The new Model S and X have also been exceptionally well received, with the new equipment installed and tested in Q1, and we are in the early stages of ramping production."
Now, I just want to make this clear. Again, this was a 108% year-over-year increase during a pandemic.
Yeah, and it was a record quarter in Q1, which has never seen a record quarter.
No, typically Q1 is a tough quarter for auto sales in general. As you can see from this chart, Q1 has always had lower deliveries than Q4 for Tesla until now.
So this is the first time where Q1 beat Q4, and this may explain why Elon again had all hands on deck at the end of the quarter, trying to push out every last car.
Now, these numbers were released on Friday, and I don't think too many analysts were expecting such strong numbers, so we might be seeing some upward pressure on Tesla's stock price today.
Also, we can expect even higher delivery numbers in Q2, probably above 200,000.
Now, disclaimer, Jesse and I are not financial analysts. We are long on Tesla stock. Do your own research.
And also hit the like button. It really helps the YouTube algorithm. It lets more people see this video, and we would really appreciate it. So it takes 1 second, and then you're done. And let's move on with the show. So Volkswagen has changed their name to Voltswagen.
What? But they only have one electric car in the US.
I'm kidding. It's still Volkswagen.
Oh, okay. I mean, as much as I'd like them to double down on electric, it seems weird to release the name change right before April Fool's Day.
But they didn't. The press release was supposed to go out April 29th. It only got leaked right before April Fool's Day. Fooled ya. It's Volkswagen.
Wait, so it's Volkswagen. I thought you just said they were kidding.
They were kidding. It's Volkswagen.
Which is it?
Wouldn't you like to know? I don't know. I think that this was a really poorly planned marketing idea. It kind of like maybe one person at Volkswagen it's a pretty interesting idea to change the name of Volkswagen to Voltswagen. If you really made a Volkswagen,
Well, or if you committed all of your cars to being electric.
yeah, then Volkswagen makes total sense. I mean,
Right.
Tesla wouldn't make any sense if you also made gas-burning vehicles.
Right.
So yeah, but Volkswagen would be cool. I feel like there's one guy in the office who really wanted Volkswagen and everyone else did not want it. So it's kind of like the party planning committee on The Office.
All right, so we're planning for the big office party. What does everyone want?
Oh, I want a chocolate cake.
Great, I'll write you down for chocolate, Kevin. We are not having chocolate cake. Chocolate cake is disgusting. Under no circumstances are you to buy a chocolate cake. Do you understand?
But you just told Kevin you like the idea of having chocolate cake for the party.
We are the party planning committee. It is our responsibility to maintain the highest standards of all office parties. If we need to misdirect, then sometimes we misdirect. We'll tell them that they're out of chocolate. You won't notice anyway.
So yeah, I mean, I think that Volkswagen was actually planning to do some kind of marketing around Volkswagen branding in the US, but I think that someone at Volkswagen didn't like the idea, leaked it prematurely to force them to back down.
Yeah, that's my take on it too. I don't think Volkswagen is a bad idea at all if you have a big marketing push towards going electric and like you're announcing that everything's gone electric. But yeah, this is too premature, I think.
So you like it, you don't like it.
I like it if they're backing it 100%. I think if you're still selling diesel cars, you just can't do it. You can't pull it off.
Right. No, that's a good point.
So as we approach the delivery of Rivian's R1T pickup truck in June, one big question in my mind has been, since we're getting one, how will we get the R1T serviced?
On Thursday, Rivian announced its service plan, which looks like they, again, are taking a play out of Tesla's playbook.
Yeah, they're going to have mobile service vans, remote diagnostics, Rivian-owned service centers, and app-based service scheduling. Sound familiar?
It sounds strikingly familiar.
Rivian said, our fleet of mobile service vans can perform a majority of vehicle care needs at your home, place of work, or wherever your vehicle might be. In many instances, you don't even have to be present, so you can carry on with your day. Mobile service is available for all Rivian owners anywhere in the US and Canada. As we expand into other markets, our suite of Rivian vehicle care capabilities, including mobile service, will continue to be a key component of our strategy.
So Rivian plans to have 40 Rivian service centers in the US and Canada by the end of 2022.
And if there were any questions about Rivian taking a play from Tesla's playbook, many of Rivian's service team were former Tesla employees. Check this out. These 4 people who are big on the Rivian service team all just worked for Tesla.
And this kind of leads straight into the lawsuit between Tesla and Rivian, and Tesla and former employees of Tesla who now work at Rivian. Essentially, Tesla is accusing Rivian of stealing trade secrets by poaching Tesla members away from Tesla over to Rivian, and then when they come, they bring some kind of trade secret that Tesla is now suing them about.
Yeah, and Rivian had tried to get the case thrown out of court, but the judge ruled that the case will continue. And speaking of Rivian, Rivian's CEO, RJ Scaringe, tweeted photos of his family camping on the back of a Rivian R1T pickup truck in a Yakima tent.
The tent appears to be co-branded with Yakima and Rivian logos. Now, does this mean a collaboration?
Yeah, not clear. I think it does, because that would be pretty smart of both companies. This is the kind of thing that owners of a Rivian want to do. This appears to be the Yakima Skyrise medium rooftop tent, which costs $1,600. The heavy-duty version costs $2,200. And what I'd like to know is, if there is a collaboration, are they going to have matching colors for the trucks?
I think that would be smart. And I think that maybe if you aren't like a pickup truck campy kind of person, that you've never seen a tent like this before. I know that, the first time that I saw a tent like this, I was like, you can do that?
I know, right?
Which is kind of interesting. It's
I know,
nice.
because the tent is cantilevered over the side of the truck.
Right. So the ladder is actually a support, I believe, helping to hold it up. And it's kind of nice because you're not going to be on the ground where it's cold and puddles could accumulate underneath you and bears could, trample over your tent and stuff like that. So it's nice to be up off the ground. And it's also nice to just be able to basically unfold a tent and not have to worry about where are we going to site the location of our tent.
Right.
Really smart for Rivian because, again, this is, an adventure truck. So this is exactly what people are going to want to be doing in it.
Does the truck have self-leveling air suspension? Because that would be cool.
I forget if it does. We'll have to find out when we get it.
Now, there's been a lawsuit filed in Cook County, Illinois by a whole bunch of auto dealers who are angry about electric vehicles being sold in their state. Now, do you remember in the early days on the show where Tesla was constantly being attacked by auto dealers across the U.S. who were trying to stop them from direct selling cars?
Yeah, so is Tesla having to fight another group this week?
Nope.
But you just said that there's been a lawsuit filed by a bunch of auto dealers.
Yep, but not against Tesla. The lawsuit is against Rivian and Lucid Motors. The 70-page lawsuit alleges that Rivian and Lucid are in violation of the licensing structure and franchise system established by the Illinois Vehicle Code and the Illinois Motor Vehicle Franchise Act and should not be allowed to sell their vehicles directly to the public.
And what's the justification for this?
If you want to sell a car in Illinois, you have to be a franchisee or a dealer of a manufacturer to sell a car to a consumer. Otherwise, it's not fair to consumers.
Why is it not fair to consumers?
Because just that's the way it was. It's written that way. It's a law. Aren't we a nation of laws?
I don't get it.
There's not much to get.
Okay.
They're basically trying to protect their way of doing things. And they know that if you come in direct and sell to consumers, you're probably going to be able to have cheaper prices. And now here's what I want you to do, Illinoisans. Read through the alphabetized list that you're seeing here of the auto dealers who are the plaintiffs in this case. Dozens of Illinois auto dealers are the ones suing Rivian and Lucid. So find your local dealers and write to them or post on their social media, you just lost my business.
Look at how many dealers there are. Oh,
Yep.
my goodness.
Yeah, the dealer association there, I'm sure, was on the phone like, Frank, you got to get on this lawsuit with us.
I mean, auto dealers are so bad at doing everything. How did they organize all together? They hate each other, too. So
Right.
how do you get everyone working together?
I think you have a common enemy.
That's insane.
Yeah. All right, so here's the thing. Rivian moved to your state, Illinois. It started a business. It hired hundreds of workers and is selling an Illinois-made truck. And you don't think that's fair? The whole system is rigged to support fossil fuels, and you don't think that's fair. Well, I've got one thing to say to you, Illinois auto dealers. F you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm better now. I'm better now. I'm better.
Okay.
So Lucid issued a statement. The lawsuit by IADA is little more than an ongoing, heavy-handed tactic by dealers and their association to stifle consumer choice by dictating the way in which consumers buy new electric vehicles. Lucid intends to fully comply with Illinois law when it begins sales in order to offer consumers a different buying experience commensurate with its groundbreaking electric vehicle. Yeah. You see, Illinois auto dealers, we're not backing down. We're going to win. We are going to win, and you can all just suck. We all know that other auto companies like FCA...
No. Stellantis.
Right. Forgot. Stellantis buy ZEV credits from Tesla to meet government mandates.
Tesla has already been paid about $1.5 billion in regulatory credits. Now, according to Reuters, VW will be joining the club.
China requires that all automakers sell at least 12% of their fleet as electric, or you have to pay fines.
Tesla gets 5 credits per car they sell in China.
Now, Tesla sold about 140,000 cars in China last year, so they could have about 700,000 credits available for sale in China. And according to Reuters, they will be selling each credit for about $450.
Now, we don't know how many credits VW will be buying, but Reuters said to help meet increasingly tough targets, Volkswagen's joint venture with state-owned China auto manufacturer FAW Volkswagen, has agreed to buy credits from Tesla.
So let's do a little math here. VW sold over 2 million cars in China last year, so they would have needed to sell 240,000 electric cars to meet the Chinese mandate.
So if they need to buy 240,000 credits at $450 each, that would be $108 million.
Now, we don't know if that's true yet, but that at least gives us the ballpark of what we think VW is going to have to pay Tesla for their credits.
So Tesla gets 5 credits per car they sell in China, but it's for every car. Why do they get 5 credits?
Well, it's a completely zero-emission car, so I guess the system wants to reward that and give them more credits for it. It's not like a hybrid car or whatever. I think you get points depending on how clean it is, and they're the cleanest.
I see. So does this mean that the close to 250,000 credits that VW would need to put in might be, double, triple that?
Yeah, I don't know how the credit system works exactly. It might be that they have to buy more than 240,000 credits. This just kind of gives us a starting point to know what ballpark we're talking about. If it was twice this, it would be $200 million.
But conservatively, around $108 million to Tesla, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and I mean, imagine if you're VW and you have to pour $100 million into your competitor's bank account.
Yeah, that's a weird way of doing business.
Yeah. So Apple announced last week that they are building a massive 240 megawatt hour battery at its California Flats 130 megawatt solar farm in Northern California.
This would be bigger than the 194 megawatt hour Hornsdale battery in South Australia.
But here's where Tesla comes in. Documents submitted to the Monterey County Board of Supervisors reveals that the project will be using 85 Tesla Megapacks.
Now, we don't know exactly what Megapacks are selling for right now, but if we assume $300 per kilowatt hour, then Apple is paying Tesla about $70 million.
Now, remember that Elon has been saying for years that Tesla Energy could become bigger than the auto division of Tesla.
In Q4, Tesla deployed 86 megawatts of solar and 1,584 megawatt hours of energy storage.
And I can't wait to see what the numbers look like for Q1, because, I mean, look at this chart here. Energy is taking off.
And I think that there are a lot of, specifically Texans, who are going to be looking for some form of backup power one way or another.
Yeah. So we've been reporting a lot on Lordstown Motors recently, the electric pickup truck company in Lordstown, Ohio.
And you remember that there was the Hindenburg report that claimed that many of Lordstown's 100,000 orders were fake, and then there was the prototype that caught on fire in January.
So perhaps in response to the bad press, last Wednesday, Lordstown Motors staged an event where they rolled 2 betas off the assembly line.
And I guess this was to show that the trucks are real. Moreover, I think it was designed to show investors that the plant and the employees were real.
Yeah, there will be 55 more betas to come, according to Lordstown, and we have pre-ordered the truck, which is due to start deliveries in September.
So I don't want to get my hopes up, but I also don't want to dash my hopes prematurely. If Lordstown can get off the ground making trucks, that's great. Now, was it great that they had fake orders? No. But hey, at least they don't make any gas cars, right?
Right, exactly.
And I think that showing beta units driving around on their own power, not being rolled down the hill, is something that we're going to want to see.
Yeah, I think a lot of us forget that a lot of these companies aren't making everything themselves. They're hiring companies like Magna or Bosch or Borg Warner who have years of experience making stuff like this. And so they're basically kind of just slapping their brand onto the powertrain. So I don't doubt that they can do it. What I'm a little hesitant about is how good the quality will be and whether they can actually mass produce it and make a profit.
And then there's a whole question about charging, like
service.
We're so many levels below where Tesla's at, because
Right.
Tesla has the charging, the service all taken care of. We know that the quality, maybe there's going to be some gaps here or there that people don't like, but most people don't seem to care. Most people love their cars. The software updates, all of that stuff is all taken care of. With a company like Lordstown, I mean, they're starting from scratch, so they do have a long way to go, and there's a lot of boxes that they need to check that they're just nowhere near close to checking. It's not their fault. They just started. But yeah, I mean, I want to be optimistic. I want there to be lots of choice for American electric truck buyers, because I think that is what's going to really invigorate the truck market. Even if you have the Cybertruck dominate the market, which I think is going to happen, it'd be good if people felt like they had other choices.
Right. So Elon tweeted out last Wednesday that Tesla is going to be hiring over 10,000 people for Giga Texas in the next 2 years.
And it looks like Tesla is working with local colleges to recruit for people to work at Tesla after graduation.
So the list of jobs available that you can apply for now is really impressive. Take a look at this, Jesse. I mean, when I first looked at it just a few days ago, it was like 50. Now there seems to be well over 100 different jobs. I think it's just growing every day. Keep in mind that Tesla had about 70,000 employees at the end of 2020.
Wow. And Elon tweeted, over 10,000 people are needed for Giga Texas just through 2022. 5 minutes from airport, 15 minutes from downtown, right on the Colorado River.
And he went on to tweet, Austin++, which I don't know, is that a reference to C++? Like, is
that coding?
He just need coders? Or does he mean Austin's awesome?
Or is it a positive ion? I don't know. Then he says, urgently need to build more housing in greater Austin area. So he's really taken Austin, whipping it up into shape. I mean, it's been talked about endlessly for the past, I think, year that like Austin was going to be the next place. And yeah, I mean, with Tesla moving in and 10,000 jobs needed to be filled, they're not all going to be coming from Austin.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of people who are going to need to move there.
Yeah, which means the whole economy is going to be going up as you get home builders and architects and designers and all that stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, this last year has been atrocious for a lot of people. And for people who don't have jobs, hey, maybe it's time to start a new life in Austin, Texas, working at the Gigafactory. There's so many jobs there. I just think, share this with your friends. In fact, we'll make this a clip on the Now You Know Clips channel.
Perfect.
You can send it to all your friends, and maybe you all decide you're going to uproot and move to Austin. I don't know. It's really exciting that Elon is able to cause such a shift.
Yeah, and then you'll be in the same state as the spaceport.
And speaking of the spaceport, on Tuesday, Elon tweeted that he would be donating $20 million to the Cameron County School District and $10 million to the city of Brownsville for downtown revitalization. So the Cameron County is where Brownsville is. So it's the greater Brownsville area.
Oh, and that's really close to Boca Chica.
Exactly. So yeah, right outside of Brownsville, right on the coast is Boca Chica, and Brownsville is like the southernmost tip of Texas. So it's right next to the Gulf of Mexico and Mexico, which, I mean, there's a reason that Elon chose that.
What's the reason?
We'll get to that in a second. First, let's hear the mayor's response.
He said, "It's certainly exciting to hear of Elon's proposed donation to the city for downtown revitalization. We look forward to a discussion about how this could help our community prosper as we take a front seat to the next chapter of space exploration and innovation. For years, the city has invested in infrastructure and improvements to capitalize on the beauty and charm of our historic downtown. With this potential infusion of capital from Mr. Musk, we hope to accelerate the progress even more and continue to make our city and our downtown a destination."
And Owen Sparks responded to Elon on Twitter, and he suggested making the Starbase and surrounding area, which means Brownsville, run on 100% renewable energy.
Love it.
And he suggested a boring loop to connect up the area.
Love it again.
And Elon seemed to be really on board with both of those ideas. Elon also went on to tweet, "Please consider moving to Starbase or greater Brownsville/South Padre area in Texas and encourage friends to do so. SpaceX hiring needs for engineers, technicians, builders, and essential support personnel of all kinds are growing rapidly." And he said Starbase will grow by several thousand people over the next year or two.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was not already kind of settled here and had a job, I would be moving there to work. I mean, this is exciting.
It's really exciting. I mean, it's Brownsville really won the geographic lottery on that one. Being closer to the equator, this is why Elon moved there.
Mm-hmm. I thought you meant he'd just like to go to Mexico a lot.
No.
Okay.
In the United States, the closer you can get to the equator, the less fuel you need to launch a rocket into orbit around the Earth, because the Earth is kind of already spinning, and if you can jump off at the highest point, it's way easier to launch from the equator than, say, the North Pole.
So I guess he was looking at like Key West, Florida as one of the places.
Yes, and in fact, that's why there is a spaceport in Florida, because it's closer. Like it's way less efficient to be launching up by us.
Gotcha.
In the northern half of the United States, and so Boca Chica is actually kind of the perfect spot, right on the water, so you can land your rockets and have them brought back. There's a lot of really good reasons to choose that. And I think that it was really smart of Elon to donate this money to that area because it's going to be expanding. He kind of wants the area to be attractive to people who are going to potentially move there and work for him.
And he's going to get a library name for him, I'm sure.
And it's a really great way to create goodwill in an area that you're about to expand into. So the number of jobs that Elon is going to be making just in Texas alone is pretty astounding, not to mention the same thing is going to be happening in Germany and has already been happening in Shanghai.
Mom, I'll be studying at the Musk Library today after school.
And then I'm going to be going to the Musk Elementary School. A lot of people, I mean, I think he's going to be pretty popular down there.
Yeah.
And of course, a lot of Texans are going to be working on the Cybertruck.
Yes.
And Tesla Time News is sponsored by the Cybertruck Owners Club.
There you'll find a crowdsourced reservation tracker that you can update and find your place in line.
You can check out their website for Cybertruck news, discussions, and community for Cybertruck enthusiasts and future owners.
So according to Electrek, which says it has this from reliable sources, Tesla has begun to build out a semi-truck production line at 550 Milan Way near the Gigafactory in Nevada.
In this Google Maps photo, the factory was just starting construction, but Tesla did move in early last year. Now, according to this source, once the production line is built, Tesla will be building 5 semi-trucks per week at this site. Volume production is still planned for Giga, Texas.
So this makes sense to me. First, you set up a test production line in Nevada near the parts and all of your engineers. And then when you get it running efficiently, you can then replicate it in Texas more easily and start pumping out the trucks at higher volume.
I think that one of the things that Elon learned when they were doing the Model 3 ramp was that you can't really plan production that well. You need to see how it's going to actually work. And that's why the tent was really important for Tesla, because it allowed, no restrictions in terms of walls and stuff like that. They were able to reconfigure it at will. Once they figured that out, they were able to replicate the tent idea under an actual roof, and that I think led to the explosion that we just saw this quarter in deliveries, because they were able to take what they learned, replicate it at multiple different factories. This is exactly what they should be doing with the semi truck, in my opinion. So for the 15 Pepsi trucks and a couple dozen for Walmart and Budweiser,
and then one for us.
Yeah,
I think.
I think this could basically start to satiate the appetite and maybe whet the appetite.
So, I mean, that's kind of my conjecture here. I think the first 100 or 200 we'll see will probably come at the end of this year, because that seems to be the timeline.
Yep. I
think we might even see our semi-truck by the end of the year. And then they'll start mass producing them, hopefully in Giga Austin.
And it's really smart to start giving small numbers to, Walmart and Budweiser, because then they can start doing their own internal studies and say like, holy crap, we're saving a lot of money. Let's put in a bigger order with Tesla. Let's get some more of these trucks. Okay,
we're going to hear more about this on the Starman report, but SN11 did have a high altitude flight test last week.
So it launched, of course, at Boca Chica on Tuesday in the fog. It launched and flew to 10 kilometers of altitude. Then, according to Elon,
barely a scratch. Back on the stand soon. We'll report conclusions as soon as we know them. Well, that's not true. They had to blow it up before it even landed. And I mean, this was an intentional detonation, so something had gone drastically wrong, I guess, and you don't want it to hit the ground all in one piece. You want it to hit the ground in many pieces.
In this specific case.
Right.
Yeah. Elon said a high production rate solves many ills. And he's absolutely right. I mean, if they had built one, Starship, and it was like, this is the Starship, everybody, get ready. And then it launched, and then they had to blow it up in the fog. I think that we would all be like, oh, no.
Well, and I think that's why so many people think this is a setback. But at the rate that he's building these test vehicles, it's not. It's just a learning opportunity.
Right. It was really smart for Elon to ramp up production of Starships, because it allows them to do iterative design and not worry if the rocket's going to blow up. In fact, it's really useful. Failure is a chance to learn.
Yep.
And
thank you, Mr. G.
Every explosion that happens, they're going to be learning more and more stuff. They can go analyze the debris and say what the heck happened, what failed. Plus, they're getting diagnostics from the rocket itself before it explodes.
Right.
And you could be saying, oh, what's the problem?
Well, we kind of know. Elon said at least the crater's in the right place, and it's good to see he's got some sense of humor about it. He said, looks like Engine 2 had issues on ascent and didn't reach operating chamber pressure during landing burn, but in theory, it wasn't needed. Something significant happened shortly after landing burn start. Should know what it was once we can examine the bits later today.
I mean, is that not crazy?
Yeah.
That the CEO of the company that makes the rocket that just blew up is like, oh, so here's what happened that was wrong.
Yeah.
Normally it would be like, we're going to be conducting a closed investigation, and we will figure out the root cause, and then we will move forward from there. He's just like, oh yeah, blew up. Let's figure out what happened.
Exactly. And it was really hard to see, obviously, because of the fog. This is a pretty funny tweet from Jay showing the 4 visuals side by side of the different SN tests, right? You got SN 8, 9, 10, 11. You can't see 11 because the fog, and Elon said, can be a little foggy sometimes. All right, so Jesse, what do you get when you take a Hyundai Ioniq 5, Motional, and Lyft, and you put them together?
You get the Ioniq Motional Lyft. Sign up, call today, and save $25 for your shipping and handling costs, and get in shape with the Ioniq Motional Lift.
That's good, actually.
Yeah, what do you think?
I think that's perfect. But actually, you get a Robotaxi that, according to Motional, will be on the Lyft ride-hailing network in 2023.
What? I forget. What's Motional? What are we talking about?
Okay, let me break it down. Remember, the Hyundai Ioniq 5 is Hyundai's latest fully electric offering.
Yes.
Motional is Hyundai's company which is developing autonomous driving technology. So they're going to take the Ioniq 5 and add more sensors, LiDAR, radar, more cameras. Then they're going to train and test it in simulations, and then on private courses, and finally on public roads. And then when they're sure it's ready, they're going to release it as a level 4 autonomous vehicle on Lyft's ride-hailing platform in 2023.
So I could hail a car one day on Lyft in 2023, and perhaps an electric driverless Ioniq 5 will come pick me up?
That's the plan.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I mean, it seems like they're starting a little late.
Well, I mean, Motional's been working on this for a while. They've been working on the autonomous part.
Sure.
And
I mean, we haven't heard much.
No, maybe
that's a good thing.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I mean, I know that Cruise has been on city streets with their wackadoodle.
I think there's been
LiDAR
some stuff going on in Las Vegas with Motional. I think they've been doing some stuff. So they're doing it.
It's exciting.
It is exciting.
That's okay.
Now, Kia, which is owned by Hyundai, unveiled last week the EV6, which is their electric crossover built on your favorite Hyundai's eGimp platform. And it's basically the same as the Hyundai Ioniq 5, just with different styling.
No, okay. It's not eGimp. It's eGump. eGump. eGump is so much better.
Okay.
I think eGump, let's just call it eGump from now on.
Okay. All right, so for the EV6, there are 2 battery pack options. You can have the 58 kilowatt hour or the 77 kilowatt hour. There are 2 motor options, single motor rear-wheel drive or 2 motor all-wheel drive. So the best range you could get would be the single motor rear-wheel drive, and that would give you a WLTP range of 510 kilometers or 317 miles.
But that's WLTP, so it's more like 260 miles of real-world range, which is pretty decent. It'll have an 800-volt charging system with 350 kilowatt charging speed, which is fantastic, as long as you can find a place to charge, which they're coming online, so that's great. There's also going to be a GT version with a lot more power, 430 kilowatts of dual motors, 740 newton meters of torque, 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, and a top speed of 260 kilometers an hour or 160 miles an hour.
And here's the exciting part. It should be for sale in some markets in the second half of this year. So it's not like one of those 2025 deals. No firm price yet, but we are expecting a starting price of about $40,000.
Pretty good.
And this shows Hyundai's been they've been making electric cars, right? So, and even though it's a Kia, Hyundai is the parent company.
Yeah.
Well, and Kia's been making electric cars. They got the e-Niro and stuff. So, yeah.
Wow. I mean, $40,000 for even 260 miles of range. That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's Tesla territory.
Yep.
Obviously, the charging network would need some work.
But I like that they're not talking about 150 kilowatts of charging speed. They're talking about 350 kilowatts. That's really good.
That could be really huge.
Yeah.
Because, that means that you also get 150 kilowatts. So if you get to the 150 kilowatt charger and you go like, oh, it's going to be a little bit slower, not a huge deal. And plus, the 350 kilowatts is only going to be when you're really low on battery. It's going to zip you right up.
I'm more and more impressed every week with Hyundai. I feel like they are getting it.
Yes. And in some ways, more so than even some of the European manufacturers. So take a look at this. The Lexus LFZ Electrified.
Whoa, cool. What are the stats?
Well, don't get too excited.
No, just tell me the stats.
Okay. Let me see. There's a 90 kilowatt hour battery.
Mm-hmm.
A range of 600 kilometers or 372 miles WLTP. So let's call it 300 miles on a 90 kilowatt hour pack. I don't know how that happens.
Okay.
150 kilowatts charging speed.
Good.
0 to 60 in 3 seconds.
Wow.
400 kilowatt max power.
Okay, not bad. So what's the price and when can I get it?
You can't.
I can't what? I can't afford it?
No. It's not that.
It's not what?
Well, it's not real. This is a concept car that Lexus never plans to sell. It's symbolic. They plan to make something like it by 2025.
What? Why did you tell me all that then?
Well, because you demanded I tell you the stats.
I know, but it's just a concept car.
Yeah. But don't worry, they're going to make something like it. So it probably won't look anything like it. But they're going to make something like it by 2025. Isn't that fun?
Let me get this straight. So first of all, we're talking about Toyota here. You can say Lexus all you want. Again, Toyota is the parent company.
Sure.
So in 5 years, roughly, we're going to see a 300-mile range car with 150 kilowatts of charging speed. That's sub Tesla in every way. Like, that is not great. And yet it's going to be 4 or 5 years from now.
I think that is around 10 years behind. 2015, you could buy a Model S. We have no idea what the price is going to be for this thing. So it's a Lexus, so you're already going to be paying a little bit more. I think they're about 10 years behind. The 300 miles, maybe not, but they get to piggyback off of all of Tesla's accomplishments.
Yeah.
And battery technology has gotten that much better and cheaper and everything like that. It's insane that they would even talk about it.
Now, I read in a couple of publications this week that Toyota, the parent company of Lexus, is partnering with Tesla to build an SUV.
Yeah, I saw that too. Now, all the reports go back to one Korean reporter, Choi Won-sok, who based his report on an unnamed Japanese automobile industry source.
Yeah, it said, it is reported that Tesla and Toyota have reviewed the partnership since last year and are approaching the final stage. According to an official from the Japanese automobile industry on the 28th, Tesla and Toyota are considering jointly developing a small electric SUV platform. The partnership review has been conducted since last year. Toyota provides the vehicle platform to Tesla, and instead Tesla provides some of the electronic control platform and software technology on board its vehicle to Toyota.
So I highly doubt that this report is in any way accurate.
No, I mean, why would Tesla want to work with Toyota on developing a drivetrain?
Right. Tesla has drivetrains.
Right.
They make drivetrains like nobody's business.
Right.
They have the best drivetrains in the business, I would argue, especially when it comes to efficiency. And I mean, arguably when it comes to power. Maybe Porsche's got them beat, but only with a 2-speed transmission.
I think it's game over for Toyota pretty soon. I really do. I know it's hard to believe because they're such a big company, but they're so clueless, and this is like classic how you don't run a company. And I think that a lot of people have said this about lots of big companies right before they disappeared, like Polaroid, where you're just like, well, they're huge, they're everywhere, and then, soon after they're gone.
Yeah, and I think it's all because Toyota went so hard on hydrogen because, again, they want to make sure that you can buy
something with an engine,
some kind of fluidy thing, and
right.
and it's too bad. So we'll see you later, Toyota.
So Polaris is a Minnesota-based manufacturer of a bunch of vehicles, including Indian motorcycles, snowmobiles, pontoon boats, and the Ranger, which they've been selling an electric version of for over a decade, and the Gem, which is a low-speed micro-transit vehicle for campuses, I guess.
Optimus Ride.
Autobots, roll out.
It's a Boston-based autonomous driving company that has been using the Gem for the past couple of years.
The company claims that they have completed 75,000 autonomous rides in the Gem and geo-fence communities in Massachusetts, Virginia, California, New York, and Washington, D.C.
Now Optimus Ride and Polaris are formalizing the partnership, and they will now co-develop autonomous Gem vehicles. The first vehicle will be the Polaris Gem E6, which will have a 2, 4, and 6-seat variant with 12 to 68 miles of range.
I'm sorry, 12 to 68 miles? That's less than an e-bike.
Well, you got to consider what you're trying to accomplish.
Okay.
So within a small campus, some kind of urban campus, or maybe, out in the country kind of campus, 12 miles is pretty far.
And you can keep your battery size small.
Yeah, you're going to be within a campus. You're going to save a lot of money by having a smaller battery. You just plug it in as soon as you get to the destination, is my thought. And then if you need more, you get up to 68 miles.
Okay, so it's an 8.7 horsepower, very low, speeds up to 25 miles an hour. So this is, a neighborhood electric vehicle. Yep. And they plan to have it ready by the second half of 2023. I think what they're basically doing is taking the Polaris Gem, putting on their sensor package and their computers so that it's autonomous, and then it'll be ready for campuses. We priced up the Gem E6 without autonomy, so just as it's available today. You can get one for a base price of $16,000, but then we added a few things that we think you need, like a level 2 charger, some doors and windows, and we quickly came up with a price of $37,000. And mind you, that's without autonomy.
Yes, and so that sounds ridiculous because you could be saying, well, hey, for around that price, I could be getting like a Model Y,
right?
Which can seat 7, not 6,
right,
and in the future drive it fully autonomously.
Right.
I think that right now campuses are looking, and especially colleges and especially other high-tech kind of places, having autonomous vehicles roaming about is pretty cool.
Yeah, but I mean, like you said, you could take a Model Y and just software limit it to a slower speed and basically make it a neighborhood electric vehicle.
Yeah, but you can't do that right now.
Well, you can't buy the Gem E6 now either. In 2023, you'll be able to buy a Cybertruck.
Right, but Tesla isn't marketing to them.
Okay.
I'm just saying, if
I'd want on my campus a bunch of Cybertrucks driving around.
Yeah, I know you would, but like if you're like, a campus administrator at some college, and
this is much more friendly
and
looking.
you want to make sure that your job stays like, oh, I'm doing important stuff, even though I don't teach children, or any students at all, I'm the campus administrator. I want to look. We're having high-tech solutions.
True.
This 12-mile vehicle that none of our students are going to use, or they're going to trash it after some football game. I'm just saying, it's going to sound really good. It looks and sounds really good.
Gotcha.
Now, I think that it could work. It could definitely work, especially if you actually planned it. I don't have much high hopes, and this is absolutely not Polaris's fault. I think that a lot of places are going to get it and forget it. I've seen so many different colleges have, like, you'd like walk down an alley and be like, wait, we have this thing?
Right.
And it's like, oh yeah, we have this amazing thing that we never use. And it's like,
that happens a lot, actually. Police departments, colleges, even hospitals, they get this stuff and then, it sits in some back garage.
so, I mean, I think that you could have some kind of like, golf cart kind of community, and this could be like the city bus kind of thing.
That's
and
a
it
cool
could
idea.
be just drive along and, it could pick up.
And that could eliminate the need for having everyone to have their own electric golf cart,
Right.
Because
And I mean,
then off season, a lot of people in those communities go, they're snowbirds, so they go somewhere else. You don't have to take care of the batteries and all that for your golf cart.
exactly. And, if
That's what they should market it to.
and if it picks someone up and then it never really stops, then your children can get in it. You don't have to worry about
Right.
there being a driver or anything. It just goes, picks them up.
I
brings
love
you
this
home.
idea.
That I think would work. I don't think that I don't think that that's gonna happen.
So should we offer Optimus Ride that we be VPs of Special Operations?
Sure, why not?
All right, Eli is here again with us for the Starman Report.
Welcome back to the Starman Report, and it's time for the most exciting news in space. So Elon Musk plans to send Dogecoin to the moon. That's right. In this April Fool's Day tweet, Elon Musk said he's going to actually send a Dogecoin to the moon. The thing with Elon Musk is he will probably actually do it. Elon took the opportunity to remind everyone that the cargo of SpaceX's first flight was actually a wheel of cheese. That wheel of cheese is actually on display at SpaceX, and I've seen it. It's next to a Terminator prop and an Iron Man suit that's been signed by Robert Downey Jr. This week, SpaceX also conducted test flight of SN11, and it appears that things weren't going according to plan near the landing pad because they did a mid-air termination. And yes, that is quite literally where they blow the rocket up while it's still in the sky. So unfortunately, we didn't get to see this mid-air explosion due to the heavy fog, but Tim Dodd, the everyday astronaut, had a memorable reaction to the debris just barely missing his super expensive cameras.
Oh, our fog is getting worse, it looks like. What is that? Big pieces or something?
That's like pieces falling. Something's happening.
I think it blew up.
Yeah.
I think they did flight termination. We're gonna have a boom here, guys. Get ready.
Yeah, that was pieces. This gone.
Oh, they blew it out of the sky.
Yeah, that was pieces.
They just blew it out of the sky, guys. Do we still have our cameras? Oh God.
That's freeze frame.
Oh God. We probably just. I bet there's gonna be Starship pieces on our cameras. We may have just lost about 20 grand worth of gear.
If you're excited by what's going on with Starship development and you want to be a part of it, SpaceX is building a star base in Brownsville, Texas, and they're hiring thousands of people to come and join the team. And if you're saying to yourself, well, I'm not an engineer, the jobs that they're hiring are not just engineers. They're hiring for all types of positions for their growing operation. To find out more, check out SpaceX.com to see the latest postings. There's also some news this week about Uranus, which apparently is belching X-rays. Scientists didn't expect this behavior, but the cool part of all this for me is this photo. So this is an X-ray image of Uranus, and the pinkish purple section, that's highlighting the X-ray emissions that are radiating from the planet. Thank you so much for watching, and back to you, Zach and Jesse.
Thank you so much, Eli. That was awesome. Please check out Eli's channel, The Starman Report, for more great space news.
And Eli is offering a special Operation Darkstone bundle this week for Now You Know viewers. It comes with a copy of Operation Darkstone Part 1 and 2 and a Starman Mars mission patch. The special Now You Know viewer Starman's gift page is in the show notes below. All right, it's time for Going Green, brought to you by EcoWear. And we're doing a sale on this design here that Jesse's wearing. 20% off on all products with that design. It always seems impossible until it's done.
Hey, That's an Elon quote.
It sure is. So go take a look at this design on EcoWare, and the discount will be applied automatically at checkout. And don't forget, we have new designs uploaded every week. We carbon offset the manufacturer, the shipping, and life cycle of your purchase, and we plant a tree for every order.
And we help cap a well for every order.
And you can help support the show by going to EcoWare. All right, so we reported in 2019 how New York City's Taxi and Limousine Commission approved Tesla Model 3s for yellow cab service in the city.
We reported on the first Model 3 yellow cab hitting the New York City streets back in November of 2020.
Now, Savas Citridis, the president of United Taxi Management in New York City, has announced on their Instagram that they have added 4 more Tesla Model 3s to their fleet.
They've even installed a charge point charger in their taxi lot.
Okay, so New York City has 13,587 yellow cabs, and so this may not sound like big news, but I've got to believe that as taxi companies get real-world data on how much more cost-effective Teslas are, they're going to be concluding that it only makes sense to buy more of them for their fleets.
So far, the Model Y has not been approved as a yellow cab in New York City by the commission, but I have to believe that once it is, it will probably be even more popular because it's an SUV with a higher ride height and it's easier to get in and out of.
All right, it's time for Into the Future. So check this out. We've talked about Lilium before. They're the Munich, Germany-based eVTOL startup that just unveiled their new, sleeker electric vertical takeoff and landing plane.
This is scheduled for commercial launch in 2024, starting in Florida. Lilium's new version can travel at 175 miles an hour cruising speeds with a 150-mile range.
I know this may sound crazy, but I mean, in 2024, if they actually start launching this, which they plan to in a whole bunch of locations in Florida, you could actually commute in a VTOL, an electric VTOL. And I mean, if they can pull this off, it would be super duper cool.
Yeah, I mean, because it's electric, that is the whole reason why it can work. There have been so many helicopter companies, and you might think like, helicopters, it's awesome. I'm going to commute to work on a helicopter. They don't work because they are so expensive to maintain and fuel and pilot. If you have an eVTOL, it takes care of a lot of those problems.
Yeah. All right, it's time for Sunspots. The 16th Bridgestone World Solar Challenge was canceled earlier this year, but that didn't stop Solar Team Eindhoven from the Netherlands. They are working on a show, or self-sustaining house on wheels concept, which is a mobile house on wheels that would be powered by the sun.
The completed concept should be ready for unveiling in September.
And if you're wondering if Solar Team Eindhoven has what it takes, in 2019, they won the cruiser class of the Bridgestone World Solar Challenge with their Stella Era.
And I think it's so exciting to have a bunch of young people working on a challenge like this because it completely has to change the way that you think about the world. And they could be making something that, like, what if you could buy this?
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, so many people are excited by like van life. What if it's completely sustainable?
Yeah.
I'm very excited about it.
And if you'd like to be completely sustainable by putting solar on the roof of your house, talk to our friends at Energy Pal. They're the energy experts that can help homeowners go solar for less.
You'll find their link in the show notes below, and let them know that Zach and Jesse sent you.
All right, it's time for our video contributor story of the week. Who do we got this week, Jess?
We've got Aaron's All-American Sun Oven.
Hey, Zach and Jesse, this is Aaron from Oklahoma. The other day you guys were talking about different cooking options, talking about gas grills, charcoal, whichever one would be best. And anyway, I thought I'd show you kind of the one I like to use. This is called the All-American Sun Oven. As you can tell, it's 100% solar and super easy to use. And I'll show you right now. I got dinner on right now, actually. But we're sitting, I don't know if you can see that or not, about 325 degrees in there right now. And it's just super easy to adjust. You've got these different tabs back here so you can adjust the alignment. And I don't know, it's a great little product. And it's a nice thing also, you can boil water with this. You can cook with it obviously during rolling blackouts. So it's a nice little contraption. Honestly, it's one of the favorite things I've got. Only weighs 22 pounds, so it's not that heavy to move around. And the way you line it up is through these little dials back here. That's when you know once that light shines on that little round bulb when it's aligned up to the sun. Anyway, I just want to let you guys know. Now you know. Thanks. Bye.
Wow. Aaron, that is cool.
Isn't it? Or hot.
I definitely want one. That is so fun. So it's interesting. It's more efficient than a solar panel.
Right.
Because you're taking all the thermal heat of the sun and just concentrating it in one spot. Whereas with the solar panel, you have to convert it to electricity first. You're losing like 75% of the electricity.
Yeah.
Still great solar panels, but for just heating stuff up, this is like the perfect application. And yeah, like why isn't stuff like this more common? It's free. He just sits it out there and it's cooking for him. He doesn't have to pay a cent.
Yeah, I think because people just don't know about it. So thank you for telling us about it. All right, it's time for the Patreon bonus stories. And if you'd like to support the show and get some bonus videos about things you haven't heard about, head on over to patreon.com/nowyouknow. Support us for as little as $1 a month, and you'll be watching them. All right, we're back from the Patreon bonus stories, and it's time for our Patreon shout-outs. These are people that support us for $5 or more a month. They're super important. Who do we got this week?
We've got Ryan Taylor,
Michelle Casciarelli,
Helmut Friedel,
John C. Lim,
Debbie Wright,
David Clements,
Udundu,
Donald Hanson,
Stewart,
Michael Oldham,
Michael Roxel,
The User,
Paul Berlamont,
Alan Boker,
Kevin Priest,
Norman Schwegel,
Seth Holliday,
Adriano Cristani,
Ryan Baker,
Robert Durbin,
and Joanna Chang. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. We can't do it without you.
All right, it's time for Elon's tweets of the week. And come on, FAA inspector.
Elon said, FAA inspector unable to reach Starbase in time for launch today. Postponed to no earlier than tomorrow. Wow. That's... The FAA inspector's just lucky that Elon didn't call them out by name.
I know, right? And then this article from Tasmanian about 10 more semi-truck orders, and Elon said,
demand is no problem, but near-term cell supply makes it hard to scale semi. This limitation will be less onerous next year. And this is what we heard last week as well. But it means that they are going to be delivering some semi-trucks this year. So Elon, if you're listening... We did order one.
Just get to number 85 or whatever and get to ours. And then check this out. Tim Urban posted this video and Elon posted some exclamation points because in 250 million years, we're all going to be one country.
Well, one continent.
Okay. And then Elon tweeted out, Niche Man, his superpower is appealing to small audiences. Then Galley posted, savage line outside the Santa Monica Supercharger, Tesla's Q1 results IRL. And that means in real life.
And Elon said, major new supercharger station coming to Santa Monica soon, hoping to have 50s diner and 100 best movie clips playing too. Thanks, Santa Monica City. So
now there's going to be a serious line.
Well, no, because they're going to be more charging spots.
Hopefully.
And you're not going to mind waiting because it'll be a nice diner.
Trung Fang posted more about Elon's life, and Elon said, had no money to invest in Zip2, but my founder equity yielded about 15 million after tax. Of that, I rolled about 10 million into PayPal, which yielded 180 million. Then, basic principle is that I would not ask investors to risk money on my company if I would not also do so.
Then Elon tweeted, me in my sick new car. Left him the money. Now,
is this Cyberpunk?
This is not a real car. This is a video game car.
Oh, I thought it was a real car.
It's pretty, I mean, look at the graphics. Pretty good.
How would you steer it, though?
All 4 front wheels would steer.
Oh, cool.
Actually, not outside of the realm of possibility. They used to do this in F1 racing.
Wow.
They had a 6-wheeled vehicle, has better grip.
Ross Gerber said 3 years ago, Elon was losing his mind working nonstop trying to get Fremont to 5,000 Model 3 EV cars a week. Seemed almost impossible at the time. Today, they make 2,000 a day.
Elon said, I fried a lot of neurons on that problem. That's really astounding.
Yeah, that is a testament to Elon.
Yeah.
And then All Rocket Boy says, stop hating on NASA. If it wasn't for NASA, we wouldn't have SpaceX.
Elon said, true.
And Elon posted this. All right, it's time for our poll. What was it this week?
We asked, will SpaceX put a literal Dogecoin on the literal moon?
Yeah, that's what Elon had tweeted out this week. And so if you head on over to Patreon at the $2 level, you can answer the poll. And what did our Patreon say?
Of course they will. They shot a car to Mars, didn't they? No one, not a single person said that SpaceX is not going to make it to the moon.
I love it because they're always right.
Makes
So,
sense.
all right, it's time for Community Mail Time. So Tesla Owners Club of Massachusetts let us know the good news that Ipswich, Massachusetts just added a Tesla Model Y to their police fleet. Now, this is not a pursuit car. This isn't an admin car, but still, it's great to see the police forces are adding Teslas.
But this is just going to drive from one place to another. It's not going to be... Like, the whole point is that we're going to be replacing the cruisers, which are cruising around most of the time or sitting idling, burning out their engines, just sitting there doing nothing.
My guess is that the chief will be riding in this, but that sends a good message. I mean, maybe if he falls in love with it, then he'll want all of his cruisers to be
and
electric.
Maybe he's going to feel more apt to pulling people over from time to time, and he's going to want to set, and his fellow officers are going to be like, so when do we get the Model Y?
Exactly. Our friend Louis spotted 2 refresh Model S's in California. He said, I saw 2 different refresh Model S's, both in Southern California on the same day. One with a yoke, pictured, but you can barely see it, also had manufacturer's plates. The other one, who said he had taken delivery of his refresh Model S on Saturday. So these are going out. The world is getting their refresh Model S's.
And if you have a refreshed Model S, please, 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 please send us pictures and videos of it. We really want to see how it works. Come visit us. We'll wear a mask. Then our buddy Sam spotted a Rivian R1T in Palo Alto, California.
Oh, I'm getting so excited about our Rivian coming in June. I can't wait to show it to you guys.
Yeah, and it's cool. It has the roof racks on it. I think those are the same removable roof racks that I saw when I went and interviewed RJ Scaringe. So
nice.
I'm excited about those.
All right, it's time for Supercharger reviews, and these are sponsored by our friends at Evannex, the Tesla community's accessory store. If you're looking for awesome accessories for your Tesla, check out Evannex and use our discount code nowyouknow to save $10 on purchases over $100.
Hi Zach and Jesse, Jonathan here from New Zealand. At the recently installed version 2 4-stall 120 kilowatt superchargers in Mangaweka. It's about halfway between Palmerston North and Taupo on State Highway 1, so the main trunk road of the North Island. It has public toilets just around the corner. It has Duke's Roadhouse Cafe. There is also a ChargeNet level 2 DC fast charger. The superchargers are easily seen from the road, so you can't miss them. Due to the convenience and the fact that New Zealand is finally getting more superchargers, I'm gonna rate these ones 9 out of 10. Now you know.
Hi Zach and Jesse. I fooled you. It's not portrait, it's landscape. I'm a musician from Italy, from Tuscany, and obviously I'm not working right now. So I opened a channel on YouTube. It's called Valentine Electric, where with my wife, Manuela, she's from Montreal, Canada.
Hi, I'm the
Say
one,
hi to
I'm
Zach
the
and
one that
Jesse.
speaks English.
Okay, I'm Italian. We do videos about Tesla. This is our Tesla.
No, it's his Tesla. He does videos. I just accompany him.
And we do video about Tuscany and the beauty of the nature of Tuscany. You can cut this part of self-promotion if you want. We're now at the supercharger of Arezzo with 8 stalls V2. We're very, very close to the autostrada A1 from Milan to Naples. We're near a hotel with bar and services. There's not much to do, especially now with COVID, but when you're going from Florence to Rome, you can have a rest here. There's a beautiful city, Arezzo is very, very beautiful. And we're even very close to Florence, 40 minutes. We're very, very close to the beauty of Italy. But you can visit Chianti, Siena, Perugia, all these towns, very, very beautiful. We can give a score of 8 out of 10 about the location because...
No, not about for the location.
Oh, sorry. We can give a score of 8 out of 10. In the channel, she speaks English.
No, I wanted him to try and learn. He's quite good, but
I speak
he's
Italian.
got to continue.
We can give a score of 8 out of 10 for the location, but only 6 out of 10 about the amenities.
For the amenities, facilities, especially now with COVID. There's nothing around.
Okay, and now you know.
Now you know.
Hey Zach and Jesse, Tesla Cam here in New Zealand with a new supercharger that's opened up here at Sylvia Park. This is New Zealand's largest mall, and we finally now have 2 supercharger locations in Auckland, which is great. A few new supercharger locations have opened around New Zealand at the moment. We've got one in Mangaweka, one in Whangarei, and now the second one here in Auckland. So more are coming online, which is great for us Kiwis. And I'll tell you a bit more about this. So it's a 6-stall setup, and it's on level 3 of the parking building. If you put in the supercharger location in your navigation. It should be able to direct you here pretty easily. Chargers are over there, and the lift is just there to get to the mall.
Hey Zach and Jesse, over here at the brand new Supercharger in Crestview, Florida. 8 stall. It's got a Starbucks right there, and then this plaza also has a Panera Bread, and there's a Golden Asian buffet. It is about a 1/10 of a mile from Highway 10, so very convenient. There's an ATM right here. I would rate this stop 6 out of 10. Now you know.
Yes, and you can put up your Supercharger reviews too. These are awesome. I love seeing them. They make me feel more part of the community, but it's really easy to do. Go over to our website. We've got it all laid out for you, easy to do, and maybe we'll put you on the show.
Yeah, and it'll help you plan a road trip.
Yeah. All right, there's a lot of new Superchargers this week, Jesse. Are you ready?
Yes.
Take a deep breath.
Okay.
Here we go.
Here we go. The 8-stall version 3 in Mansfield, East Midlands Designer Outlet, UK.
The 2-stall 150 kilowatt in Torrent, southbound Spain.
The 8-stall version 3 in Doylestown, Pennsylvania.
The 12-stall version 3, Chambéry, Grenier West in France.
8-stall version 3 in New Milford, Connecticut.
The 8-stall version 3 in Molde, Norway.
The 8-stall version 3 in Santa Isabel, California.
8-stall version 3 in Pedricktown, John Fenwick, New Jersey.
The 6-stall version 3 in Tel Aviv, Israel.
The 12-stall version 3 in Littleton, Mass., which, by the way, you were the first to review.
I was the first person to charge there.
Wow.
Yeah. In your face.
Do you get a little sticker on your car?
I didn't, but I pulled up and they had just put the finishing touches on it. I thanked the guys profusely who actually built it. And they were like, you are the first customer to charge there.
Wow.
Whoo! Thank you very much to everyone who makes these Superchargers, by the way. Your work is very appreciated. But we're not done. There's more Superchargers.
I know. The 8-stall version 3 in Mariestad, Sweden.
The 8-stall version 3 in Yakima, Washington.
The 8-stall Urban in Bellevue, Washington.
The 8-stall version 3 in Peoria, North Sheridan Road, Illinois.
The 8-stall version 3 in Isan, South Korea.
And the 8-stall version 3 in Yeju, South Korea.
Oh no, we are not done.
Oh
There's
God,
another page. The 6-stall version 3 in Yongun, Gihong, South Korea.
The 16-stall 250 kilowatt in Seattle, Northeast Northgate Way, Washington.
The 12-stall version 3 in East Point, Georgia.
The 8-stall version 3 in Archdale, North Carolina.
The 12-stall version 3 in Linkoping, Sweden.
The 12-stall version 3 in Copperopolis, California.
The 16-stall version 3 in Brentwood, California.
The 12-stall 150 kilowatt in Uxbridge, UK.
The 3-stall version 3 in Fuxin, Hong Kong.
The 6-stall version 3 in Berwick, UK.
The 8-stall version 3 in Canary Wharf, UK.
And the 28-stall version 3 in Erfstadt, Germany.
Woo!
Wow! Holy crap, that was a lot of Superchargers.
All right, it's time for the Patreon giveaway. And if you want to get into this big barrel of fun, support us on Patreon. You could win a $30 gift card to EcoWare. Who is our winner this week, Jess?
Winner this week is Zach Ott.
Oh, it's not me.
Not you.
Darn.
Spelled completely differently.
Well, congratulations, Zach. You're going to win a $30 gift card to EcoWare. We design everything with solar energy. We completely offset everything. When you buy a tea, we plant a tree. We also cap a well. So thank you for supporting us. And I just want to talk about the fact that we have the live stream coming up with us on Saturday at 2 p.m. where you can hang out, you can ask questions. It's a lot of fun. It really helps support the show. And we get pumped up. Like every month when we do it, we leave just feeling great because we actually we're talking to a camera right now.
Yeah, we're in a room talking to you, but we're actually just like, watch, I'll be like, hello. There's no one else in the whole room. So thank you so much for actually being the person at the other end of this camera. But when we do our live stream, you can actually, I can see you laughing.
Yeah, we can talk about stuff.
We can talk about stuff. You can ask us questions. I have so much fun doing it. So yeah, mark it in your calendar, and I hope to see you there. And again, if you don't know how to do it, head over to patreon.com/nowyouknow and help support this show, and you'll get some great perks.
Yeah, you'll get your name up on this list right here, which is showing the world that you support what we're doing here, which is to transition to sustainable energy. Just like Elon, we're helping him to do that.
Hey, you know how else you can help? Hit the like button if you haven't already.
It seems so dumb.
Also, if you have subscribed, right, and you're like, how do I help these people more? because you've watched the end of the video. I'm exhausted. You can hit the bell icon and then select all notifications. Now, we only put out 2 videos a week. We only do Tesla Time News and In Depth. It's very rare that we're going to come out with anything else. So if you're game with Tesla Time News and In Depth, that's pretty much all we're going to do. All of our other stuff we've put on different channels because we've heard you know, we don't want to bug you and stuff like that. So just hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon. There's plenty of other channels where we do great stuff. We'll tell you about them when we're happening, and we'll see you next week.
Now you know.